Welcome to the Saturday stream. Hope everyone's having an awesome Saturday morning. Whew, I am beyond exhausted. I can't even. I can't even.
Oh, come on. All you did was sit down all week. You can't be that tired.
I am tired of
You
sitting.
can't be that tired.
I am tired of sitting down all week. That's the point.
So get a standing desk.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be really cool. That would be really cool. Kitty last night decided that she was going to have an all-nighter.
So are you finally learning that they turn into velociraptors at night?
At night. She okay, so she discovered that she can go behind the curtains, like behind the little, not curtains, like shades. And
yeah,
we found her like behind the shades, like trying to hunt whatever was back there. Oh man, it's yeah. And like she wouldn't leave my girlfriend alone at all. Like she would just like be right on her like tummy or chest and just like wouldn't leave her alone.
I told you that's her cat. I don't think you believed me, but I told you.
Yeah, no. She's she's definitely something. I can say that, being a first time actual cat owner, because I mean I hang out with cats from other people, but
right.
Yeah. I'm exhausted. Team no sleep.
Oh, quit your belly aching.
Team no sleep. So sorry folks, today's content has been canceled. We're just gonna do a Saturday Catterday stream. That's it. Sorry folks.
Well, where is your cat?
Sleeping because she had an all-nighter. Zooming around. It's so funny. It's so funny.
That's what they're like. I told you.
Yeah.
I've told you about the noises that we hear at night.
And it's like I started like researching and stuff like that, and like the reason why sometimes they'll make these noises or they'll do what they do is because they're frustrated that they can't find anything to hunt. So they'll be like trolling around like behind the curtains, looking to see if they can hunt something. That's what it is. Yeah,
makes sense.
So what I do is I grab a little toy mouse, and I have like 3 of them. So I just like throw them across the room. I'll let her chase one, then throw the other one, and let her chase that one, and like keep her busy until I can try to tire her out. So far,
I think we have somebody crying to come in.
Haha, yes. Show us the kitty. Kitty cam. Well, the co-host tries to grab the kitty. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having an awesome weekend. We do have a couple of things to cover, but today is mostly just a hangout, right? That's usually what the Saturday show is about. And so far, I have yet so far to get that. Who needs a cat cam? Who needs a cat cam?
Bailey, stop pushing stuff off my desk. Please. Not the computer monitor.
Oh my god. Who needs a cat cam when you have Bailey right there in front of you? Oh,
Don't
man,
you walk on my keyboard either. Get on my lap if you want. Come here. He has been so needy since I got back from Florida.
That's funny.
All the animals. And like Oreo pitches a fit when I go anywhere.
Really?
Don't you walk on my laptop. You see him? He looks down at the keyboard and then he looks up to me to see if I'm watching.
Right.
Then he'll walk on it.
It's a way of like saying like, hey, pay attention to me. Are you paying attention to me? No? Okay. I'm gonna start walking on whatever I think you're watching right now. I'm just gonna put myself in front of it. That's what she
Yeah.
does to Christine when she's working. Like, hey, pay attention to me. And then she'll like
I'm
walk
right
on her
here. Hello.
she'll walk on her
Yep.
laptop.
Oh, I know that. I'm used to that.
And it's like, no, Kitty, this is work.
They don't care. I'm telling you, I hope I come back as a house cat in my next life.
Can you imagine?
Quit showing your butt to the camera. Yes. Come here, lap warmer. Oh, he just wants the cord.
The cord?
And the butt scratches. Bailey loves butt scratches. Can you hear him purring? Hold on. Come here, Bailey.
Oh, loud as day, clear as day.
He's like, get that thing away from me. I want to lay down. Sorry,
Yeah,
that was
no.
probably loud moving the microphone, but it had to have been worth it to hear that.
Bailey is more chill. Like, Bailey's 100% more chill.
You say this, but he's the nut.
Dude,
He's the one who goes flying. Like,
dude, my
he
cat,
thinks he is a flying squirrel.
my cat literally attacks my hair. Why?
It's a baby.
Why?
All my cats did that when they were little.
I'm like, I'm not food, nor am I a toy.
Oh, just wait till you take off your really dirty, stinky clothes and put them on the floor, and the cat crawls inside and starts rolling around. Right across the freaking laptop.
There's a cat
All
hammock.
this other space he could go on. Well, no, there isn't right now.
There's a cat hammock. You can hang out there.
There isn't, because I have to.
Oh.
That's gonna be fun. Not
Okay.
really sure I want to do that on camera. I don't think it will be very flattering.
Oh man.
Because I am short and I need to put these screws in pretty high up.
So what's the deal? You're gonna drill this thing?
Yeah, so for whatever reason, the little platforms, they have suction cups on the bottom that holds the platform to the window. And then on the front edge, there's two cords, I guess. I don't know what straps. Two straps that come up that have suction cups on them that you're supposed to put up above, and that holds it onto the window. Well, the bottom ones have never come off, but the top ones keep popping off, and they tend to do it with a cat on top. And when you have thousands of dollars of equipment underneath these things, that's not something
Yikes.
you want. So I removed the suction cups from the straps, and I was thinking if I put a few screws up into the window that, not the glass, obviously, like the frame around the window, maybe that would be better.
Oof. That way you don't find your monitor on the floor.
Again.
Again.
Yeah, we already lost one monitor to this.
Oh, really? Like it got completely done?
Yeah, I told you
Dunzo?
that's how I told you that's how I ended up with this big, what is this, a 30-inch or 32-inch?
Yeah.
I ended up with this not only because I needed a new one, but because what had happened was Bailey was up on the cat thing above the monitor right in my window here, and the suction cups let go. And at that point, I did not have the monitor on a mount attached to the wall yet. It was just on the stand that it came with,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
most normal people do. And yeah, it went crashing forward, and the only thing on my desk was my mouse. So I'm guessing when it crashed forward, it must have hit the mouse, and it just destroyed the panel.
Wow.
So I had to go get a new one, and I ordered a really cool mount for the monitor. It's like an arm. It goes all kinds of different directions, and it can come out and it can turn and tilt and whatever. And it's got air shocks in it or something. I don't know. It moves really easy.
Hmm.
It doesn't like it feel when you go to move it. It doesn't feel like you're moving any weight at all. It just goes.
Nice.
But it's pretty
So,
awesome. It's a lot different from the one that I have on this monitor, which just goes in and out and tilts left and right.
yeah, yeah.
But this one, I didn't really need a lot out of it. I'd more so just need it for when I'm over here, so I don't have to turn my head. Oh,
Oh, there it goes. One day, I promise, one day we'll figure it out. It isn't a Saturday stream if we don't have, like, technical
difficulties.
True.
And now I think it's
It's like, I don't know why Discord does this. I guess we'll never know. Hey, mischievous raccoon, how's it going? Oh, really quickly, thank you so much for the offline follow, Lucky Duck Larry. I appreciate that.
Oh, for heavens. There we go. It's not perfect, but it's better. Good enough.
Yeah, good enough. There you go.
I don't need to be in focus.
Only
that's for other people who are much less interesting.
Hey, Lucky Duck Larry, how's it going?
So, Carlos.
Yeah. Wicked Kender, how's it going?
I went to restock my fridge in the glass studio.
Nice.
With beer.
Nice.
And guess what was in there?
More beer.
Your freaking dinner plate from Thanksgiving.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't believe it.
Yes, you did that.
Okay, so my usual defense is I could neither confirm nor deny any of these
Bullshit.
statements.
You're the only one who had a plate down there. I know it was you. Because everybody else had their plates in already. And you, as per usual, Carlos, still eating. There was no room for yours, so you had to put it downstairs.
Yep. Wow.
I still can't get the smell out. I had the door open. I burned incense. I ran my exhaust. 6,000 cubic feet a minute of fresh air surging through the room, and I still couldn't pull the smell completely out of it.
Yikes.
Terrible.
Cleaning up the garage and a bit after de-Christmifying. Yeah, we de-Christmified like a week and a half ago, congregating on Thanksgiving during pandemic. For shame, yes, all four of us.
Yes, all four of us. It was a big congregation. And
Yeah.
I definitely am going to be putting more baking soda in there. I put some in last night, but I only had one box. So I need to go get some more. It's bad. It's... Oh my gosh, it's how many months old? 2 months old?
Wow.
Yuck.
Well, I mean, if you're complaining about 4 people and then you say you had 24, that's kind of kind of cringe, don't you think?
He was joking, I think.
Oh man. Anywho, that's gross. That is gross.
Yeah, so thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm gonna make you clean it next time you come up. You're just gonna have to clean it out.
Oh man.
Like you owe me a fridge cleaning.
Hey, oh my goodness. Bleep Blop Ben with a rate of 96. This is Sparta. Hey, bureaucrat. Hey, Grom. Wow. Oh my goodness. High level
Welcome,
ideas.
everybody.
Kalikami. There's
Oh my goodness.
there's so many.
Look at this.
Raid. Hey, Dorian.
Oh.
Madame Defarge. How's it going? So many cool
This is
people.
just great.
So many neat people. Look at this. So many neat people. Thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate that. How's it going?
This is incredible.
Yeah,
well,
one day.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, hope everybody's having an awesome weekend. Hope you had an awesome stream, Ben. Even though, of course, I was lurking and hanging out there. Watch out for the. I tried warning you, Ben, but it was too late. That's okay. Hey, Heat, how's it going? Blue Fox. It's okay. Trolls are
inevitable.
Thanks for the follow, Knots. Trolls are a speciality that emote is merely watch my screen. Wait, which one? Which emote? We had like everybody rating in with like 10,000 emotes. I'm ready to hear the difficult truth. Oh no. Quick,
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. How much time do you have? And where should I start?
I just happened to come in with Ben's crew. Nice.
Welcome, Heat. Always a pleasure.
Quick, difficult truth. The difficult truth is that the sky is blue. Yeah, that's what it is.
That scares me that our mind went to the same place.
Oh, man. Hey, Lord Friedus, how's it going?
700 miles apart and still on the same wavelength somehow.
That's funny. Wait. I'm memeing Dorian. We do always get quite the number of trolls. If the sky is blue, then why does communism have a red flag? I don't know. The sky is red. Let's try an inconvenient truth then. Okay, fine. Alright, quickly. Inconvenient truth. 1 + 1 = 2. Sorry guys. It's inconvenient. I get it. But 1 + 1 does indeed equal 2. The sky is sometimes red. Oh, true. True. Hey, Wing the Ultimate Nug.
There's a good Bailey. He's sleeping.
1 + 1 does in fact equal 11. True. Because if you put the ones together, because you're adding the 1 and then the 1 next to each other, it does make an 11. True. Hey, Dustin, how's it going? Baby, yes. See, we weren't kidding when it's Saturday Catterday. Listen,
boy.
COVID coronas, we can't have
like
any
that shit here.
Yeah, like this is not cool for TOS. True. Just make sure those ones are integers and not strings. True. The streamer's right. Math is an inconvenient truth to most socialists. I don't know. I think math is math. It sounds like
much.
Yeah, it sounds like you may have a issue there, my friend.
Man, I guess I'm gonna have to get a second light for the kitty cam.
Thanks for
Jeez.
the follow, Ryolithica. Thanks for the follow, Original Nano Dragon. I like that name.
That is a cool name.
Heard that Mars is coming out with COVID candy. What is COVID candy?
COVID candy?
Thanks for the follow, Socialist Audiophile. Oh no. It's this guy. So, this person, I guess, has like nothing better to do. It's okay, friend. One day you'll grow up. Nothing better to do.
Be gone with you.
And the reason why is because like this person continues to use different usernames, and it's like, you know, I hope that they have a good day, and I hope that one day they'll get the help they need. Because at this point it's just not funny anymore. You know, hey Alio, how's it going? At this point it's not funny anymore. It's kind of like, it's kind of sad, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew, that dude is everywhere, true. Thanks for the follow, Socialist Audiophile, and Original Nano Dragon. Oh yes, I did. I did say thank you guys. Caps Lock is the best lock, true. How else are you supposed to yell at people?
So sometimes I sincerely wonder if these people think that like nobody's gonna hear them if they don't type in all capitals.
Yeah. How's Mumu doing? Mumu's fine. Currently sleeping. Vakita, aka Mumu, aka Kitty, sleeping. Exactly. I will not be ignored. There is actually a very good argument for not decentralized, decommercializing like farming instead of having like just a few like mega farms. Basically creating what essentially amounts to like poverty traps for like the smaller farmers. Yeah, we should have like more smaller farmers. No, Alio, I think it's just somebody who, I don't know, probably should speak to somebody, and I don't know. You can't just approach people who you don't even know just randomly on the internet and tell them to like how do I say this in non-TOS terms? Self-delete themselves. You know? So yeah, I don't know. This person probably either has nothing better to do or just probably should speak to somebody.
Cringe.
Alright, folks, so if I haven't done so already, y'all need to be following Bleep, Blump, Ben. Really good peeps. More smaller founds sound good. It will force everybody to go on a diet. Wait, how does that logic even make sense? Sounds like communist farming as in collective farms. It sounds like we just want to dismantle large commercial agriculture simply because of all the damage, not only economically but ecologically, that does. And I think that having more broken it up into more small farmers would probably be better in all around, you know? Okay, so I think I missed a few people here. Hold on. I want to make sure I get everybody. Really good, really good streamers in chat. 30% of all food in the US is wasted while millions starve. Don't dare bring up that somehow collectivized agriculture is inefficient. Yeah, so like basically, what we have now is wasteful. It should not be. Imagine having people starving and you wasting food that way.
I just, I don't know. I don't see how people are okay with people starving,
Yeah.
no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Socialist audiophile, like the monoculture farms run by huge agribusiness, is definitely a problem for like more than one reason, you know? Cities are a cancer on agriculture. What does that even mean? You know, you can like grow upwards, right? You can make hydroponics and make food. Yikes.
I hate when I can't find my notes. Thought I had everything on that clipboard. I must not.
Yeah, we're not even gonna go there, Dorian Sapiens. Like, that's not that's not an okay argument if that's what you believe, Bad Hoss. That is
I
not
hope
okay.
not. Hopefully that's not what where they were going with that.
Yeah, I know. Rylthica, it's like weird. Does it sound, is it just me or does it sound like it's just a bunch of copy pasta? I have no idea what you're talking about, Bad Hoss. I'm sorry. No city life here where I live. I swear I'm talking to plants sometimes. Sometime? Okay.
Are you also like consuming these plants in teas or maybe smoking them or
Thanks for the subscription, Memius. Hope you're having an awesome morning. We are on a 3-month streak. Thank you. Yeah, that never made any type of sense, Wing the Ultimate Nug. The idea that you can throw away food because it doesn't look right is beyond me. Like, you know, like a misshaped banana gets thrown away even though it's perfectly fine. That never made any type of sense to me. I'll have what he's having, a source. That never made any type of sense.
I agree with you on that, Carlos.
Yeah, like exactly. The concept of like food being quote unquote like looking good or pretty to sell is like beyond me. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like we grow, you know, our own peppers and stuff like that, and like I guarantee, I promise, they taste just the same. Like
They taste better. What are you talking about?
like because they're homegrown, and the very least that they can do is probably send them to food banks or get them to the people that need them. Yeah, I've already dismissed this kind of these kind of weird comments. The Riddler. It's okay, friend. Just hang out, all right? You'll be fine. We can have skyscrapers that grow enough food for everyone, but we don't because it's not profitable for business. True. It'd be really cool if we had like, that's what I was saying, like upward like food production. That I always found that like really, like it would basically be like hydroponics, essentially. You can grow a lot of food if you really wanted to in a small amount of space. Growing up is what Jack did with the beanstalk. Aquaponics, I'm sorry. Aquaponics uses 1% water, 2 times the harvest. True. I saw a video, maybe Vice that highlighted cargo containers in New York City being used for hydroponics. Yeah. Hey, drawing or jumping, how's it going? Good afternoon. What emote is this? Can somebody explain?
Is that like a waving girl? I don't know.
No. No, this one I know. It's like that face. If you hover over it, it'll tell you MV game. Okay.
Huh.
Oh man, because math. Oh my goodness. All right, folks. So somebody asked a question here. I'm listening for sure. It's just a math. Okay, yeah, no, not important. Did anyone say whether Trump still gets to pardon people? Yeah, he can. Hey, Chai Bureaucrat, how's it going? I live in Western Maryland. We have a local culture of local farms, produce stands in front yards, donations. Wow, amazing, cool. That's how it. Imagine if like that was like a normal kind of thing. They seem like extrajudicial bullshit to me. It is.
Okay, I just sent a very technical message. Hopefully it made some sort of sense. Not even sure it did.
Thanks for the tier 1 sub. 5 months already, almost half a year. Can you imagine? Thank you, Chai Bureaucrat.
Thank you. That made my Saturday.
What are the odds Trump's... thanks for the follow, Mechanthrall. What are the odds Trump so deep in a pity party does nothing for the next week? That would be as, like, preferential as the most preferential thing at this point. Just stop, alright? Just stop.
Ay. I can't believe this. I might have to buy it.
Don't feed the trolls, guys. Don't feed the trolls. If somebody's not producing anything worth listening to, just move on. I heard somewhere that he's so bummed out that he can't pardon himself that he doesn't want to pardon anyone else. Oh my god, that's actually unironically the funniest thing I've heard. So wait a minute. You're not gonna pardon people because you can't pardon yourself. Hey, listen, the people that he would pardon don't deserve to be pardoned anyways. Oh man, I hope that's true. Socialist audiophile, I hope that's true. You sound like lawyer, Trump lawyers. What if I tell them no? Just stop. Yes, please, just stop. Like,
That's pretty funny.
yeah, I saw this Wing the Ultimate Nug.
I can't even, dude.
Don't feed the trolls is like vote with your dollar. Not sure what that means. An individual solution for a systemic problem. Oh, so you mean like systemic solutions for systemic problems.
That's pretty funny. Oh my goodness.
Nice. I like this drawing.
Is that not hysterical? That's a sticker for car windows.
That's awesome.
It's like, oh man, I think I might have to get that.
So, what exactly is your point, Bad Hoss? What exactly is your point?
Oh wow. That is a beautiful Jeep. Do they even have a point?
I don't know. It seems like there's like two specific people who keep going in like making like the randomest comments. Okay, so then what is your solution? So every area should be a rural area? What?
I think it's a
What?
little late for that.
Yeah, like what exactly is like the point here? Cities demand a lot, so then everybody should be in a rural area, but if everybody is in a rural area, then it's not a rural area anymore because it becomes populated.
But that sounds logical, Carlos.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, imagine. Okay, so you know what you're saying, right? It's basically everybody should live in a rural area, but if everybody lives in a rural area, then okay, listen. All right, look, buddy. Come back when you have like something else to say. It's like copy pasta, right? Exactly.
Some people are too much.
Yikes. I could see where that could go, Dorian. So it's like basically if everybody lives in a rural area, it no longer is a rural area. So you know what we have to do to make sure there are rural areas? Yeah, I could see where that can go.
How about we make changes in the cities so that, you know, not a giant suck on the
but that is
resources
bound by the physical
of the
reality of the.
nation.
I'm not sure what you're getting at. Innovation is always a solution. Uh, we don't have time to innovate our way out of this one. But it's bound. But that is bound by the physical reality of 12 billion in the next few decades. So what? Yeah, I know. I know. I'm sorry, guys. Like, it's all fun and games, but this dude has literally been going in circles and talk and oh my god. Okay. That's cool. Come back when you have
Oh, I missed it.
basically the idea I think that they were getting at and Dorian um kind of touched on it is there everybody should live on a farm, but if everybody lives on a farm, then it's no longer a rural area. So you know what we have to do to make sure that there's the that suffices the status of rural area. That includes
Uh-oh.
how do I say is deleting people. So yeah, I see where they could go with that. And then this other dude who has been literally just posting random stuff, with that weird emote, the MV, the MV emote, um, just said innovation is the way, um, but that is stifled by the fact that there's going to be 12 billion people, so therefore we should get rid of them. I don't know where this argument goes, nor do I really want to care to find out.
Big.
MV game, that's the emote. We can just take over skyscraper. Yeah, you can make farms that go up. Right? This has
What a
been
concept.
oh man, I forgot who does it. Was it Japan? I think. Um Japan? Who has like farms that like go upwards? Yeah, exactly. Just grow your own.
Vertical farming has been a thing for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just not it's not as widely used as it should be.
We could do a lotto where if you win you get to life like a trillion for a day, then we know. Oof. Yeah, allow me to propose a solution to that problem. Yeah, so that's usually where sometimes like this thing can go, depending on who you speak to. So you kind of have to like, you kind of have to be very very weary of some of these type of arguments. Listen, if you want to talk about climate change, somebody asked actually, what do you guys normally talk about? The Anthropocene Okay, I'm illiterate. And climate change or just general lefty stuff. News and politics is usually what we do. Um, we cover a lot of news and politics. Climate change is part of my is part of what I do. Especially, I bring up articles and new studies that come out and things like that. So I try to get as much. I try to get as much attention to it as possible. In fact, we we went on a debate, well, not like a discussion panel, with Doc Midnight, I highly recommend you check that out. Bela, yes, if you guys want an even more better environmental,
More better.
yes, more better environmental stream, please. Bela does a lot of good work with environmental stuff. I'll see you guys around. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Come hang out. Today, usually like the Saturday streams are kind of just like
we're just chilling.
Yeah, it's kind of like a day we can all hang out and a day we can all chat with you guys, and it's like the one day because of work obviously that the co-host, our co-host, the founder, the real A Difficult Truth, gets to hang out with us. Yes, we need an exclamation point. We need a command for all of these wonderful people. I'm gonna work on that, Memius. Like a command with like all of these wonderful streamers that you can just kind of...
Yes, Carlos, get to work.
command name, and just build a whole bunch of them based off their username. But yeah, go check out Bela if you're interested in environmental stuff. She does great work, and I think she's also working on what is that streaming service for more like serious science stuff? I think it starts with a C. Gosh, Darknet had posted it. Curiosity stream? No, that can't be it. Yeah, I feel like it was Curiosity Stream. Thank you guys. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure she's there too, or she's working on there. Nebula? No, I don't recognize Nebula. It could be Curiosity Stream that she's working on getting herself on there as well. That's why you guys haven't seen much. Besides some stuff, you haven't seen her stream that much. Let me see her. Ooh, she's actually on right now. We might raid her later.
How about that?
Yeah. But definitely go check her out. Go check her out. Does great, phenomenal work. Somebody posted a link.
I don't know, man. You gotta be careful with them links.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm off. Talk to you later. Have a great day. You have a great day, Heat. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by.
It's not me this time. Yeah, I was guessing Nebula, if not Curiosity. I'm pretty sure she's on one of those platforms. Okay, somewhere up here. Oh, yes. This is beyond ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous. Hold on, folks. I think I'm gonna lurk a nap. Nice.
You're scaring me, Carlos.
One more for the road. One more shout out for the road.
Oh, man.
All right, guys, this is like beyond beyond meme. This is like beyond beyond meme. Beyond meme material.
Really? Please tell me that's a joke.
This is beyond meme material, folks. This is beyond meme material, okay?
Please tell me that's true.
Oh man. Miriam Adelson wants a book of Trump in the Bible. We asked an expert if that's possible. Like what? Okay, first of all, who would like have?
What?
Who would have? Who would write an? First of all, who would write an article about this to bring this to anybody's attention?
I can't.
Like, okay, she can get behind the Mormons. Do the Mormons also want a book of Trump? Sounds like some cold shit you'd say to somebody. Wait, who? Hey, Lost Sue, how's it going?
I can't even anymore. How could somebody even think that that's a possible thing?
We asked an expert. We live in a simulation. This isn't real life anymore. True. Okay, look, buddy. I get, but we could also make cities more efficient and reduce emissions and be more efficient with our resources. That isn't going to change the amount of people, okay? Furthermore, if everybody lives in a rural area, then it isn't a rural area anymore. Jesus Christ. That's the last time I addressed this.
Don't have a stroke, Carlos.
Oh man. So I think I'm gonna post a video, guys. It's gonna be a really good one. From a creator who is like a historian, anthropologist kind of dude. It's really good. Urban farms and green cities. Wow, amazing. We have technology to do that. Technically, there's thousands of local official of lost or official books in the Bible that Romans decided not to put it in, so it can be official books. I guess if, yeah, I know. It's just kind of a meme at this point, weighing the ultimate nug. That's what I find funny. We asked an expert.
That is too funny.
Oh, okay, guys. I mean, we kind of have to go through this because I think this is kind of funny. In the Bible lives a cast of characters thousands of years old. There's Jacob, Esther, Daniel, but what about Trump? Read the writings of Miriam Adelson, an Israeli-American wife, GOP mega donor of Sheldon Adelson. You'll find her case to expand the Holy Book with a story named after the 45th President of the United States.
I'm crying. I'm not crying. You are. I'm not crying. You are. Oh my gosh.
Would it
make it stop hurting?
Would it be too much to pray for a day when the Bible gets a book of Trump, much like it has the book of Esther?
And then how are these rural areas going to survive if the more populated areas aren't paying them for their produce and other services?
So,
goodness.
Like, this is like literally the worst argument I've ever seen.
Same here. Like, it's not even making sense.
Anyways.
Sorry, I interrupted you. This stupid just took me by surprise. And I kind of blurted out.
No, wait. The lost book of Trump was prophesied. It was prophesied that a man of orange skin would bring forth the end of the world. Oh man. Anyways, would it be too much to pray for a day when the Bible gets a book of Trump, much like it has a book of Esther celebrating the deliverance of the Jews from ancient Persia? Adelson wrote in a column published by published July 6th in the Las Vegas Review Journal, and a newspaper that Adelson owns. So I was like, there's no way any like normal newspaper would ever take this. So yeah, it was a newspaper that they own themselves. Adelson contends Donald Trump should enjoy sweeping support among U.S. Jews and Israelis so much that he deserves a page in the Bible. But could it be that simple? Oh, she also got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Nice. Nice. This is beyond a meme. Isn't the Book of Esther sex she had sex to save her kin? I don't know. I didn't read that book. What was actually written? This seems like something obviously taken out of context. I don't know. I'm not like... not really like understanding how that works. This is only going to step their game up to compete with reality. True. I don't know. This is kind of funny. Okay. Steam's normal. The Onion is going to have to step up their game to compete with reality. True. I saw a post by The Onion. I saw a post by The Onion a long time ago, like towards the beginning of last year, where it was like, where it was saying The Onion might have to file for bankruptcy because it can't create any more ridiculous headlines to compete with reality.
Yikes.
Oh shoot, sorry. I don't even know, Chai Bureaucrat. I already lost interest. This person keeps going in circles. I already lost interest in that. Okay, folks.
Yeah, he seems to get tired after like the third or fourth trip around.
Yeah. Wait, you do Trump impressions? I do.
For the right amount of coin.
For the right amount of coin. Yeah, exactly, Chai. There's only so much like circles I can go around before I get dizzy. Wait, hold on. Is this new? How long does that take? Whew.
This is looking at inside. Look at this. These protesters are inside Statuary Hall.
Hello? Why aren't you playing?
This is an incredibly dangerous situation that's unfolding here in the United States.
It's stunning, Wolf. It's absolutely stunning, and it's quite frankly dangerous. President Trump.
Are you for real? Come on, YouTubes.
This is looking at inside.
Whoa.
Look at this. These protesters are inside Statuary Hall. This is an incredibly dangerous situation that's unfolding here in the United States.
It's stunning, Wolf. It's absolutely stunning, and it's quite frankly
Yeah, I don't know Wing the Ultimate Mag. It's kind of a coin flip, because as Chai Bureaucrat said, Mitch is on board.
This was a fraudulent election. At the best, can inspire. We love you. You're very special. The words of the president matter. It was a landslide election. At the worst, they can incite. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. Sorry, at this hour, our democracy is under unprecedented assault. Unlike anything we've seen in modern times, all of you have been watching an assault. Let me be very clear. The scenes of chaos at the Capitol, disorder, it must end now. I call on President Trump, step up. Go on national television now. The work of the next 4 years must be the restoration of democracy.
True, Dorian.
Decency, honor, respect, the rule of law. Just plain,
That's right.
simple decency. The words of the president matter. This was a fraudulent election.
Thanks for the follow,
The
chatbot.
best can inspire. We love you. You're very special. The words of the president matter. It was a landslide election. At their worst, they can incite. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. It was a landslide election. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us. We have to have peace, law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. So go home. We love you. You're very special. We love you. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated. Go home and go home in peace. The words of the president matter. This was a fraudulent election. At their best, can inspire. We love you. You're very special. The words of the president matter. It was a landslide election. At their worst, they can incite. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence. I immediately deployed the National Guard to those who engaged in the acts of violence.
Okay, so we all know that was a lie. He did not. But anyways, the preacher voice, like the preacher, whoa, that get up, that kills me.
Focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America. The words of the president matter. This was a fraudulent election. At their best, can inspire. We love you. You're very special. The words of the president matter. It was a landslide election. At their worst, they can incite. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. Get up! What the fuck?
This is just meme gold. Meme gold. By the way, I think it's very mean to play bops like this without making dancing GIF emotes available. How do I do that? Because we can't. Oh, you mean like BTTV? I need to add some of those emotes.
Yes, you do.
I wonder if that works.
Do it. Do it, Carlos.
Blob dance. Is it blob dance? No, it doesn't work. Yeah, I have to but okay, so I have BTTV options, and what, do I just upload those and that's it? Kenneth Copeland is the most memeable evangelist. True. And I can add I can add any emotes.
Do it. Unleash the emotes.
Yes. Chat settings too. Listen, it's a well-known fact that I'm like kind of a boomer when it comes to all this stuff, okay? So y'all need to give me some y'all need to give me something
Crying.
not something. Y'all need to give me advice on how to do this. BTTV chat settings. Show mod icons. Channel mode, emote only. Better TTV. Aha. Better TTV settings. Add extra cool emotes, channel. Oh. Oh. I see. Ooh, am I gonna have some fun with this? Okay.
Woohoo.
Okay, this is a great video that I've been trying to show you guys. I'm pretty sure like even Lost 2 might appreciate this one. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can also work on that while we get this video going, because this one is actually really cool. Mm. Ah. Okay, I think it's this guy. I think I may have found it.
You can do it. Bailey is still just chilling. Oh, he heard me say his name. He opened his eyes a little bit.
Kenneth Copeland is the Griff preacher in the video. Yes, exactly. That preacher is like gets me all the time.
Hello everyone, how are you? A little bit shaken at the very least, but I hope you are all safe and sound. I'm Ari Thurger, and today I'm going to talk about something I did not expect to do it. And I apologize to my patrons who always have a heads up on the upcoming videos. Well, this one is totally unexpected, so the lineup of the videos might have to be obviously rearranged and some subjects postponed. So also my apologies, of course, to everybody else waiting on specific subjects and the continuation of a couple of series in this channel, especially in relation to animism. Anyway, as most of you might be aware by now, on the 6th of January of 2021, Trump supporters, white supremacists, QAnon homegrown terrorists stormed the United States Capitol. A despicable, horrible, disgusting, outrageous act with no small amount of ignorance. My condolences to the United States citizens and also to democracy. And congratulations if your aim was to make things even worse. You have successfully fucked things right into the dirt, as the rest of the world watches in horror and is absolutely ashamed by such degrading, disgraceful and shameful acts led by a particular group of ignorant people. Extremism leads to irrationality, which in turn instigates violence against those who do not share those same extreme ideas.
He is so
sooner or later, this violence turns against the extremists themselves. The world, or the course of mankind, has covered some millennia, but history continues to repeat itself, unfortunately. But today, I'm here to talk about particular historical symbols that were seen tattooed on a specific person that took part in this sad, very sad event, which is Jacob Chansley, perhaps better known as Jake Angeli or Anjali, whatever, this individual right here. But it is curious to me to notice that there's been a tremendous coverage around this person to the point that we are almost forgetting what really happened this day and what should be done to prevent this from going any further or to happen again. Also, the heathen community has spoken because this person has specific religious symbols tattooed on him, which have been often characterized as hate symbols and linked to white supremacists and other hate groups. So the heathen community has spoken, rightly so, not only to clarify that such religious symbols are a cultural appropriation by these extreme groups, but also that heathenry has nothing to do with white supremacy, and indeed, people such as Jacob Chansley are a disgrace to the heathen community and every other neo-pagan that identifies with pre-Christian Scandinavian Old Norse spirituality. So these are not hate symbols originally, culturally and religiously speaking. They are not connected to anything remotely linked to hate, racism, xenophobia, bigotry in general. So today on this video, I will specifically address the symbols this pathetic excuse for a human being has tattooed on his body. But I will address all of this as I normally do, mostly from an historiographic point of view, as this channel is mainly about Scandinavian and Viking studies.
I hope Lost 2 is still here. I think you would like this.
I'm doing this video for everybody, obviously, but perhaps most importantly, I'm doing this video for two specific types of audience. Two white supremacists who indeed appropriate specific symbols to express their extreme political views and end up giving a really, really bad reputation and destroying specific factors of a culture. And I firmly believe that education is of the utmost importance because these extreme groups are the product of ignorance. But I'm also doing this video for all of those who are not yet familiar with such symbols and immediately identify these symbols as symbols of hate. So it's important to know a little bit of the background in here around all of this and the symbols and how these religious symbols were politicized. And perhaps now that I reflect on this, I'm also doing this video to the heathens and neo-pagans in general who are, such as myself, against racism. Those against racism have the best of intentions, but their approach on the fight against racism might not be the best one. So if you stay until the end, I'll have a message to deliver, which I think it will be important at least to reflect upon. So we all may change our attitude, learn with our mistakes, and strive to build a better world with more acceptance and understanding. So stick until the end. And also, by the end of this video, I'll have for you recommended videos I have done where I have delved in more depth about each symbol and the religiosity of medieval Scandinavia. And of course, as always, I will leave such videos in links down below in the description of this video as well. And if by any chance, indeed, white supremacists are indeed watching this video, if you stay until the end, I know perfectly well your response to this, because it's always the same. You will either call me a liberal or a lefty, or you will call me a Jew or a liberal lefty Jew. You anti-Semitic twats really have no imagination. No, I am not Jewish. Sadly, I do not claim any ancestry linked to such brilliant and gifted people. But if you reach the end of this video, you white supremacist twats, even though I have just insulted you, I promise you, you will hopefully reflect upon a few points and change your...
This guy is breaking down, because he's like an anthropologist, historian, who focuses on Scandinavian history, and of course, you know, he himself is a pagan who loves to delve into this, and it's really interesting.
Conduct. And by the way, just before we really start this again, sorry, it's also important to understand that such symbology has more importance nowadays to modern neo-pagans than it ever had in the medieval Scandinavian past, when such symbols were indeed created and understood. Their real meaning was understood back then. There are many modern connotations that were added to these symbols, and nowadays such symbols are indeed far more important in religious terms than they ever were to the actual peoples who created these symbols and knew about their meaning.
Well, this guy is really good.
They were not important in the past. Of course not. This only means that nowadays there is a greater emphasis on the symbols and a wider crowd whose personal spiritual and religious beliefs are intimately tied to these symbols. But just before we start, perhaps I should also spare a few words on another very important aspect. So this person has a headdress on him which unfortunately isn't getting the attention it deserves because it's mistakenly being taken as just Viking horns, because the entire outfit is being linked to the tattoos he wears. Obviously, this is not a fake Viking hat. It is a sacred part of the culture of the peoples, from the groups of Native American tribes and First Nations peoples in North America. We commonly call the Sioux, but they call themselves the Tahota and the Lahota. The Oche Pishakovin, right? The people of the Seven Council Fires. So it's equally important to address this cultural appropriation and the disrespect of an important sacred cultural aspect of a people, which is being treated like, well, in fact, it's not being properly addressed at all. This symbol has a meaning, and it's losing its dignity by being misused and disrespected by this buffoon. But the fact that only the tattoos are having a bigger coverage, both by the media and by neo-pagans, truly worries me, because the tattoos are of a particular, let's say for now, European cultural background, and it is Europeans and people with European ancestry that are outraged by this. But they are not particularly outraged by the headdress because it belongs to another culture, not of their own. So I'm just going to say it, and as you guys say it, white and black. I'm not a native speaker of the English language, and I'm not from the United States either. But apparently it seems it's normal in there to address people by color and make those distinctions. But honestly, I don't feel comfortable doing that because that's not normal where I come from. But for the sake of understanding and trying to reach out to you, I'll use that same approach, that sort of language. So I'm just going to say it. When in this moment and the response to this event, you are white and only outraged by the misappropriation and disrespect of your white symbols and nothing else in this picture, you are no better than the person right there in this picture. Perhaps just slightly less awful, but no small amount of hypocrisy. You have, of course, the right to be angry about the tattoos, but also be angry about this, about the other important and sacred cultural aspects of other peoples. Now is the perfect time and opportunity to stand united against tyranny, against oppression, against violence, and overall, obviously, against ignorance. Speak for those who have lost their voices for a very, very long time. Get united. Speak out. Join forces, for goodness sake, I beg you. If you want to stand on the right side, you must also stand on the side of the native peoples who have been oppressed for far too long. And this sad and disgusting event that happened in the United States on the 6th of January 2021, let's not forget, unfortunately, it is the proof that tyranny and oppression that has fallen on many native peoples of the world since colonization is still very much alive. So don't be just angry about someone claiming the religious symbols of your ancestral culture. Be angry at someone who represents your shameful past, our shameful past of colonization, and is trying to bring it back again. It's not just your symbols that are being disrespected. This entire event isn't just an affront to democracy. This is an affront to freedom and the life of all living persons of the world. So please, do remember that. Now, finally, with no more delay, let's get started, please.
Hey, I just read
Whoa.
an unbelievable article in the
And we get an Epic Times article. Jesus.
As I've already demonstrated, the picture of a full man, whose name is Jacob Chansley, better known as Jake Angeli or Angeli, whatever, appeared in several news reports due to this eccentric appearance. So I take the opportunity to talk a little bit about the issue of the tattoos, the tattoo
Thanks for the follow,
symbols,
mister.
and linked to the studies of the Nordic Middle Ages and their political uses. The study of the
Epic
Nordic
fail.
Middle Ages had a pretty bad start in the field of history and other social human sciences. And that shadowy past hasn't quite lifted and dissipated. So we still have to deal with the remnants of
Bailey's
past
looking out the
studies,
window.
which were not really directed to the study of the past and the historical truth, but rather to try to reshape history to fit into political ideologies of the 19th century, or the necessity to find evidences that demonstrate,
Good Bailey.
or rather that legitimized political ideologies and racial beliefs. The historical and philological studies and pseudosciences and early archaeology done by complete amateurs, which began during the 19th century, were largely motivated by the ideological impulses of a racial background. Now, please do pay close attention to what I'm about to say so as to avoid misinterpretations. The Nazis, contrary to what we often believe, they did not, in fact, consider the Germans of the modern period, of their own time, to be a superior race, but they did believe in the purity of race, which is different. The idea of a superior race comes before the Nazis and after the Nazis, when certain ideologies pick on the pseudo-studies and sciences towards different ethnicities that were done in the 19th century. The Nazis, on the other hand, admitted that they were the result of a mixture of peoples. However, they identified their culture with ancient Germanic peoples, and even though they considered themselves to be a mixture of peoples, they believed in the purity of race. So as such, they considered Scandinavia to be the very region where Germanic peoples remained pure. And as such, Scandinavia was seen by the Nazis as the place where their ancestral culture and race had been preserved in its purest form, which is why, to this day, many historians and archaeologists, especially from Scandinavia, still continue to reinforce the idea that Nordic countries throughout history have remained isolated from the rest of the world. And as such, these regions have long-standing and long-lasting customs shared by all the inhabitants, which isn't true at all. And I'll show you that on a future video I'll have for you, the first video of February. Nordic countries have been far from isolated, but that's for the future video. But it's important to understand that even in the fields of social and human sciences, we still have to deal with the remnants of political ideologies of the past that have shaped and reshaped and have created a completely alternative history that never existed. Now, returning to the Nazis, they saw Iceland as a kind of cradle of Germanic culture, the origins of the Germanic culture, since it is precisely in Iceland that the only surviving texts were composed that give us some ideas or a glimpse towards a pagan Germanic cultural past, but mostly, as you know it is related to Norse mythology. Now, as I have addressed before in this channel, we have a big and important problem here. The fact is that these texts, these literary sources, were composed by Christian authors, at least 200 years after Christianity was accepted as the official religion of Iceland, meaning Christianity was known to Scandinavians and Icelanders before they have been fully converted to the religion and before they accepted the religion as their official religion. So the written sources on Norse mythology, the surviving written sources, were composed by people not only culturally and geographically detached from the pagan past of their ancestors, but also religiously detached from the pagan past. The Nazis knew about this, and it didn't matter to them. It was covered up, and it's still being covered up by extreme far-right ideologies that use the same sources for their own political propaganda to extol the supposed culture of their pagan ancestors, when in fact a huge part of the literary sources were composed by Christians and not pagans. So the political propaganda using the late medieval Icelandic sources are far more interested in Christian religious ideologies rather than delving deeper to try to understand the remnants of the actual pagan mentality. All of these themes from literary sources, together with a whole series of visual and cultural elements found in archaeological, but also literary contexts, were all brought together to create an idealized Germanic past. And even today, it serves as a base, as the basis of identity for today's white supremacists to justify their superiority over others. So the same false historic past, which was created to support Nazi political ideologies, continues to be used today. As such, a myth of tall, beautiful, strong, and courageous Nordics was created from a hard, cold, and harsh background which made them stronger and therefore superior to all those who were born in warmer climates, thus being seen as perfect, pure, and therefore also superior. A beauty standard idealized in the very dark Nazi Germany, and today it is still reinforced by groups of white supremacists and neo-Nazis, because they see Scandinavians' false and alternative past as the actual historical past of their ancestors. So they use certain symbols of that cultural past for the representation of their political ideologies. So it's pure ignorance and not wanting to acknowledge the actual historical past and the truth. So this is basically white supremacy, and the belief that being white, Nordic white, is being superior. The idealized physical features of the Nordics of the past is a caricature that is now associated with the figure of the Viking, which is constantly being represented and portrayed in the exact same manner in pop culture, and is often associated with cold, rigid environments, because in the 19th century it was created the idea that cold climates produced more productive and stronger populations, while warmer climates produced softer, lazy, and weak people. And this is why many still believe that the Nordic peoples are superior due to this climatic issue. And that is also why even today many people refuse to accept that the actual Nordic peoples of the past had physical characteristics as diverse as anyone else. And that is precisely why new studies of Scandinavians' medieval past, especially in relation to the Viking period, have been showing that not all Scandinavians were tall, blonde, and blue-eyed, but rather with very, very different characteristics. But many people, and especially, sadly, also Scandinavian extreme traditionalists and of far-right ideologies, still refuse to accept that their own ancestors were so diverse, because they continue to cling on to the alternative history that the Nazis created. And we have another problem, finally. Adding to all of this, due to the fact that an alternative historical past was created only focused on some cultural aspects that justified certain political ideologies, there is a great lack of contexts, dead ends, and unexplained situations, which caused several historical contexts and symbologies to be set aside. Then, due to the lack of content, especially of religious symbols, several other symbols were added quite recently, taken at random from different historical periods, and all placed in the same bag as being symbols of Germanic culture and or of the Vikings. Many symbols that are now used to represent the pre-Christian Nordic faith, most of them are either not Scandinavian or are not from the pre-Christian pagan past. Such is the case of the magical symbols, staves, and sigils from Iceland produced during the 1800s, which have in fact a Judeo-Christian background. Like the case of the Vegvisir, right? Assumed to be Viking. Or the case of the Sami labyrinth, often said to be Viking as well. But it's not even from a Germanic cultural background, but in fact Northern Finno-Ugric. Or the swastika, often wrongly named Filfot as the name the Scandinavians called it, but it's in fact the name the Anglo-Saxons called it. And the swastika is one of the most widely spread symbols since prehistoric times, and was introduced in Scandinavia actually pretty late, and greatly spread thereafter by Christians since the late 10th century. And as you know it, later used by the Nazis, which did the exact same thing these white supremacists are doing, giving a bad reputation to ancient sacred symbols. And Thor's hammer, such as the one tattooed on this idiot's body. And this symbol is indeed from the Viking age, like the Volknut, also tattooed. But isn't before that period, because Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, its configuration and its physical representation appears precisely as a religious response to Christianity. The physical representation of Thor's hammer doesn't exist before Scandinavians got in contact with Christianity during the Middle Ages. In fact, it wasn't even a Scandinavian thing, because the earliest representations of Thor's hammer, physical representations in archaeological contexts, are from a Saxon background, in response to the Christian crosses worn around the necks of their Frankish Christian neighbors, and was popularized, eventually reaching Scandinavia. So, having said what I've said previously, let's take a closer look at this character, and I'll give him that. It's impressive how only one single individual, just by standing there and showing himself, there are so many wrong things in there that obviously, certainly you could make a PhD thesis about it. Almost wants me to have him as my pet project, to re-educate him on all the symbology, paraphernalia, and the headdress and all. I mean, with such a headdress, what does he want to truly or specifically represent? So much ignorance. Just imagine if he also called himself a shaman. Wait, information coming in, hold on. Oh, really? Oh, he did. Well, it seems he's a self-titled shaman. Of course he is, just perfect. I'm afraid he's too far gone and the shadows of ignorance are too deep in him. But it is impressive, just by standing there without uttering a word, the amount of ignorance that emanates from this dim-witted oaf. Frightening. Anyway, why did our ancestors tattoo themselves in the first place? Superstition, protection, religion, devotion, and healing. People in the past tattooed themselves in honor, let's say, for instance, in honor to their gods, or to represent specific persons of the world we now take as animistic conceptions. in honor of their ancestors, for protection, for a variety of things, and a particular devotion towards an entity or power, and for healing purposes as well. Certainly not to look cool or badass. The tattoos of bricks, I can only imagine it's to honor the gods of construction sites and a show or a display of respect towards the sacrificed builders who die every year so that new structures can rise from the earth. Well, we notice here that this rare bird exhibits a mixture of Nordic symbols tattooed on the body and a headdress with horns. I am not going to explore in here the appropriation of Native American elements. I have already expressed the message I wanted previously. So I will proceed to the other symbology because we are dealing with the Nordic Middle Ages, right? So we have the Volknut, which appears on some 9th century rune stones and other monuments, but in fact the meaning of the symbol is completely unknown to us, and I have already mentioned this in other videos that I will put obviously down below in the description of this video and by the end of this video as well, so you can check for yourself. We also have a stylization of the cosmic tree Yggdrasil, which in the mythology presented in the Eddas, in the literary sources, the Eddas, the poetic Edda and the prose Edda, unites the 9 worlds that make up the cosmos. Although I do not agree with the translation of 9 worlds, but realms, and not just 9, but that will be for another video. Then we have Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. As I've said before, these symbols are more relevant today than in the past. All of these symbols have a vast recent history explored by supremacist and racist groups and associations. Symbols that began to gain more interest in a research society founded by Heinrich Himmler, but also by numerous racist groups, and more recently by neo-pagans who tried to recover the ancestral cultural and religious meanings of these symbols, trying to demonstrate that indeed these symbols really have nothing to do with racist and supremacist ideologies. But it is difficult because, unfortunately, these symbols are deeply rooted in far-right, fascist, and extreme traditional politics and ideologies, precisely because the first researches and studies on these symbols turned them into symbols of hatred, to reinforce ideologies of extreme nationalism in the 19th century and throughout the first half of the 20th century, of course. So the vast majority of studies on these symbols until at least the 1970s, still strongly reinforced racist and supremacist ideologies. That is why it has been very difficult to stop having this connotation, because these symbols are still very much rooted in a collective conscious that understands them as something negative, quite negative. Originally, in the Middle Ages, in the Nordic Middle Ages, they were not symbols of hatred. But sadly, contemporary studies on these symbols completely gave them other connotations, other meanings, very negative ones, and became intimately linked to the concepts and ideologies of white supremacy. And I repeat, these symbols were important and relevant in the past, but only in contemporary times they were widely spread by those who defend racist and supremacist ideologies. So that's how the world got to know these symbols first, through the negative propaganda of such groups. And now neo-pagans that are actually interested in the origins and meanings of these symbols are trying to reclaim the symbols and show that they are not, in fact, hate symbols. But it's hard to do that because the general public got to know firsthand about these symbols from a terrible and wrong point of view. So we should really make this clear. It is important to warn that these symbols have been used for political uses quite recently, which have nothing to do with the actual historical past, but it is also important to remember about the historical inconsistency related to these symbols. We do not really know the meaning that the people of the past gave to these symbols. We don't know how important they really were. We only find them in certain archaeological contexts, represented in monuments and artifacts, but we do not know the specific religious, spiritual, and even cultural significance because the human mind doesn't last. Volknut is a modern name precisely because the literary sources do not describe this symbol, nor has this symbol ever had any specific name related to it that has survived in literary, archaeological sources, and even in the living memory of traditional folklore. So we call it now Volknut, Valknutr. And indeed, it is a symbol that appears in the Viking period, not before and not after, and in a variety of different contexts. Then, the stylization of the tree Yggdrasil is in fact a modern representation taking advantage of Celtic artistic elements. And then, finally, Thor's hammer, in turn, is the only one we know the name of it, Mjolnir, and related to a deity, Thor. But in Nordic medieval history, it is a recent physical representation created in response to what the Germanic peoples, namely the Saxons, observed in relation to the Christians who wore a symbol on their chest, around their neck, the cross, the Christian cross. And the Saxons also wanted to demonstrate a symbolism linked to their own religious sphere.
Thanks for the follow,
And this
Cassidy.
symbol was really quite famous in the
thank
Nordic Middle Ages, in Nordic countries, until it fell into oblivion
Wait, bring back the kitty
for
cam.
many centuries and returned eventually in the 19th century, but instead now related to
I
extremist
guess I have to use
political
my
ideologies.
mouse on my desktop.
And this is
True.
where the problem resides. It's not just a misuse of these symbols by white supremacists and other racist and hate groups. Neo-pagans are also innocently and perhaps even unknowingly misusing the symbols, because in the fervent attempt to reclaim these symbols, both sides are missing the point. Both sides want to reclaim the symbols to demonstrate a specific ancestral background belonging to a specific people, and disregard not only the historical accuracy of the symbols, but also the fact that these are symbols that have been constantly under development throughout history. And they are not the product of a specific people, of a specific unique culture. People make use of a type of a language which indisputably marks these symbols as belonging to a specific people based on their genetic heritage. Such symbologies and meanings have changed from time to time and have been adopted, remade, reshaped, recreated, rearranged, and reutilized by several different peoples. Nowadays, with the various scientific fields and the interdisciplinary work, it is scientifically established that the populations of the Scandinavian Middle Ages already consisted of very ethnically mixed individuals. In Scandinavia, in the Middle Ages, contact and genetic exchange with populations further south were already striking. It was already a reality since prehistoric times, let alone in the Middle Ages. And I will show you that the next month. Science breaks the idea that in the Nordic Middle Ages there had been some sort of a kind of golden age in which the Scandinavian spirit would have reached, by virtue of its racial purity, a state of perfection, which isn't true at all. This doesn't mean wanting to deny the profound differences between human groups, but to frame them in a more balanced and less ideologically aligned way, living up to their complexity and to the real historical truth. So in reality, these symbols, especially the one we now call Volknut and the hammer of Thor, Mjolnir, are from an era whose peoples who related to these symbols and knew their actual meaning were of different ethnic backgrounds, meaning that in turn, these symbols do not belong to a pure race or just a superficial concept of ancestry. These symbols were important in the Middle Ages for many different people from different backgrounds, not only ethnically speaking, but also culturally. There were several exchanges of ideas, but also, let's say, exchanges of peoples, mixtures, genetic mixture, and many ethnic groups identified themselves with these symbols in the Nordic Middle Ages, the same way that Scandinavians of the past also identified themselves with symbols from other cultures. But that stays for that other video in the near future, in February. Therefore, when many people approach these topics, in fact, and perhaps even unknowingly, people do it not with a genuine interest in learning about history and the historical truth. In fact, what many people do is looking for the confirmation of their own prejudices. And this applies to both white supremacists and neo-pagans like myself against racism, who often have the impulse to cancel other people, instead of helping them to learn about the truth and understand the truth. Both sides try to seek confirmation for what they want to be true, and after that, they build alternative histories that do not correspond to the truth. Both sides cancel people in this era we live in of the cancel culture. and only create more divisions and continue to establish little groups where only those who share the same beliefs are allowed. And then articles, studies, and people, scientists who seem to offer points of view different from theirs are automatically considered rubbish, absolute garbage, clowns. And people only like studies and only think scientists are good when they agree with what is presented. Otherwise, if there is no agreement and confirmation for what is wanted to be the truth, scientists, academics, scholars are then either called sellouts or with dubious intentions and backgrounds, which then fall into some conspiracy theory. This sort of behavior is understandable, and it is a very human attitude, but unhealthy, an attitude that must be corrected. The truth is not adaptable to what we want it to be, and we must understand that the world will not end if we discover that, after all, something we believe in is, in fact, actually false. The truth is liberating. So I stick to what I have said previously. Education is essential. It is of the utmost importance to fight ignorance in all forms. Knowledge and understanding is what brings people together. Please don't get me wrong. I am against racism, and I am against white supremacy and tyranny and oppression of all sorts. White supremacists are wrong, but those against racism who cancel immediately white supremacists are also having the wrong attitudes. If you cancel someone, if you show them that they do not belong, they will return to the place where they feel welcomed, where they feel wanted, and where they feel there is confirmation to their beliefs. It's not by canceling people that you win anything. The right approach is trying to educate and re-educate people with the truth and facts that demonstrate why the truth is the way it is. Canceling people is yet again the continuation of division. So when someone is against racism, the right approach is education, not sending people away that are not in line with your thoughts, even if you are in the right side. Show them your side, make them understand it, let them know and understand your side. Education is of the utmost importance, as I've said. When heathens and other neo-pagans in general are against racism, and when they see white supremacists misusing these symbols that we have previously spoken, and they say that we are going to retake our Nordic symbols, it means giving credit to the idea that these symbols belong to someone, and that someone has the right to use them because of their origins, a concept that is part of racism itself. In other words, they are creating dissociation, separating themselves from those who use these symbols to discriminate others, yet they still consider themselves a distinct and separate group that has more right than others to use these symbols because this is our culture. You understand what is implied here with this attitude? It's the reinforcement of certain racist ideas as well, unknowingly and unwillingly, and as innocent as it might be. Everyone needs to be educated on the truth, on the historical truth. And then comes understanding, and people get united and not continuously reinforcing separation, because ones have more right over something than others. The ancient symbols do not belong to anyone. They are not registered trademarks, and mainly they do not hold the rights of American citizens, or Scandinavians, or Latins, or Baltics, or whoever. Everyone has hundreds of thousands of ancestors they could identify themselves with. Some people simply decided to identify themselves only with the Norse, for whatever reason. These are symbols that fell into disuse centuries ago and were exhumed eventually in the 19th century and mixed with evil intentions. They are not symbols rooted in the collective consciousness of any modern people, due to the cultural conversion that occurred with Christianity and other such religious conceptions and ideas, which have eventually entered the European cultural world. All right, my dear friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope.
Okay, so great video, but what he's saying is what he's saying is all beautiful and well, but the problem is sometimes how are you supposed to like for example Cassidy pointed out, like how are you supposed to reach certain people like QAnoners, right? How are you supposed to reach people who are so entrenched in their, you know, in this case, what he's talking about is like entrenched in their like white supremacy or things like that. You really can't. You really can't unless they are willing to come to you and say, I was wrong, I'd like to learn. There's no really like going there's no really like able to educate somebody who doesn't want to be, right? Who's so entrenched in their beliefs that they will just believe that this is it. There's no other way. So I kind of like completely disagree that you're like, ideally in an awesome world, we would just kind of like, people would just kind of accept like, you know, reality and then move on. But you know, he's from Europe, so that isn't in his specific area, it's not really like a thing. So it kind of gives that perspective, bad praxis of kind of like a little ivory tower-ish, because he doesn't deal with this. It's like believing Trump won. There's nothing you can say at that point. It's up to their friends or family and hope there's a disagreement there. Yeah, you can't convince people. You can't convince all people by educating. Not all of them, right? There are some people who will listen, and those that are willing to listen, I think that that's awesome. But you know, unless it's applied to math. If someone says math is stupid and valid, the best form of math is my own version. I call it mad, and it's the only way to solve 2 + 2, which is 5. What would you say to this? Would you tell them their thoughts are invalid and never speak in, or would you attempt to show them why 2 + 2 is 4? It depends. Are they willing to engage? Or are they just going to keep on insisting that 2 + 2 is 5? No, Dorian, it's not about hearing them out and sympathizing with their concerns. It's about trying to say, hey, look, bro, this isn't correct. And I hope one day you change that attitude. You know what I mean? Like, you obviously, there's no room to sympathize in that manner. Teach empathy at every grade level?
LGBT, like John McCain, he was like how these conservatives, they're all anti-LGBT. Like John McCain, he was against gay marriage until it turned out his daughter was gay, and all of a sudden he's for it. That's not good enough. And when we talk about changing society and changing culture, what's culturally acceptable, we need to call this shit out. It's no longer acceptable we don't find it understandable that you have concerns about immigration when there's nothing to be concerned about. Your concern is bullshit. Stop it. Fuck you. We're not going to meet you halfway. You're wrong. That's what we need to do. That's how we make real change. We cannot legislate it. We have to determine it as a culture, as people who are saying this is acceptable, that isn't. Yeah, I like how these conservatives, they're all anti-LGBT.
Yeah, so it's up to us to make that. But we have to do it so in a way that they realize or move forward or get left behind. These things are way more complex. It's not obvious one-sided is 2 + 2. No, but the idea is the same. Yeah, I don't think this guy is saying that education is a magic solution that will quickly work for everyone, more than we should be open to it if the other person is open-minded rather than immediately yeah, exactly. So something to that effect, Cheeto El Rey. Because, for example, most of the time, I'm not going to sit here and argue QAnon conspiracy theories, right? I'm just not going to do it. But if you want to question that, hey, come talk to us, all right? Come talk to us as to if you really want to question wild conspiracy theories. You know that? Like, but there are people that you're not going to be able to reach, and you don't have to play hugs and kisses with everybody, right? But it's to try to get as many people together as possible. That's the idea. And education, to those who are willing to listen, is a avenue. Does that make sense?
I don't know. Sounds too complicated.
Sounds too complicated. Yeah, but I'm also not going to say, for example, I'm not going to say to, let's say, I'm not going to say to a member of the LGBTQ community, you have to hugs and kisses with these people. That's not right. Does that make sense?
I mean, sounds simple enough.
Exactly. That's kind of messed up. I would never expect that from somebody. To say, oh, you have to have hugs and kisses to these people for no. I'm saying that, hey, if there is a chance to get rid of one of like to change and change the mind of somebody like that who's willing to be educated and willing to be open about it and wanting to leave, because like, so in my head, if they're willing to question those beliefs and willing to abandon it, it almost feels like they're trying to leave that. And if they're willing to leave that, then I think it's like, it's a good thing. I don't think that we should prevent them from leaving a group like that. I don't think we should prevent anybody from leaving white supremacy. We should actively encourage it. Part of that is education. One of my best friends from high school is red pilled, and I just don't talk to him about the election. Yeah, but you can talk to him about other stuff and be cool, and then all of a sudden it starts to be normal between someone who is of the right wing starts to normalize conversations with you, who I imagine Redmond Barry is a little bit more on the left side, right? You start to normalize conversations between, and May, if he's willing to talk to you, that's good enough. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it may even take years. There's this one guy who collects robes from members of hate groups by educating them. He does TED Talks. Yeah. If you have that ability and educate people, I think you should. Not everybody is built for that. Not everybody is expected to do that. Not everybody is expected to give hugs and kisses to these people. But if you have that ability, you should. Politics doesn't begin and end at elections. Also true. I'm sure that if he's willing to talk about things like, oh, hey, you know what? Isn't it like a little weird that isn't it a little weird that the system that we currently live in is kind of like is kind of broken, right? Like, there's people who work full-time jobs and can't even afford food to put food on the table.
If they even have a table.
Yeah, so isn't it a little weird that in the richest country in the world we have like medical debt? Like like medical debt is even a thing. You can kind of like talk those who are willing into things. It's especially hard for pagans and heathens to want to do that when they're a group that has been universally persecuted, attacked, and killed by the other faiths for so long. That's why we try to cling so closely to our symbols and fight back. Yeah, so, but like, you see how he also addressed that issue, Cassidy Reese. That's what the two sides that he was talking about. That's what he was talking about, like the neo-pagans and the heathens and the white supremacist groups who are just trying to like are at war with each other essentially over the symbols.
Terrible.
As the education for racism taught in every state, I was taught in California. We're all human beings and racism is wrong. Many people I met in California understood this, but it seemed like outside of California we were taught otherwise. Yeah, like, I don't know, depending on the state chosen. I can't talk politics with him on Facebook. He reposts from Gateway Pundit and other rebel sites. I just ignore these topics. I don't really want to waste time explaining to someone why Biden is not a communist. So what I would do is just talk to him like a normal person. Sometimes if he's willing to listen, they'll be approachable. Otherwise you risk entrenching people that way. I think that we must move in the direction to try to build the working class together. And I think that in order for us to be able to succeed, we have to bring in as many people as possible. And this is how we move in the direction of building enough power to actually start affecting change. At least that's one avenue, right? At least that's a avenue. Healthcare and capitalism do not go together. True. Healthcare is not a commodity. Cannot be run in that manner. It's not just symbols to us. They are one of the few things that we still have that it's ours, so we fight back. Yep, exactly. It helps when you can personalize things. Even the most ardent right-wing person I know think that it's evil that I have insurance, yet still had to make a GoFundMe to pay my medical bills. It's an opening. Those that are willing to listen. Those that are willing to listen. Those that are willing to engage in critical thinking, like when the Ultimate Nug just said. I don't think you can convince a person in the moment if the other person doesn't care. That's another thing. You can plant seeds of doubt, as Cheeto and Ray just posted. You can plant seeds of doubt in sort of like the Socratic method and just kind of question, make them question themselves. Like, think to yourself, does that really make sense? Does it really make sense that there's a grand cabal of, usually they say it's all democratic lawmakers running a pedo ring? Does that pass the smell test? Does that like pass the smell test of like there's a giant deep state conspiracy? Of course, you speak to whoever you're speaking to. You speak to them in their level if they're willing to answer. If they're not, if they're a family member, if they're a good friend, and they're not willing to listen, the only thing that you can do is say, listen, I have concerns on some of the stuff that you've been posting or saying. If you ever want to talk about it, hit me up and have a good faith discussion. If not, then you risk them you risk entrenching them further, and I'm trying to you're not trying to get people to go further down a white supremacist rabbit hole or QAnon rabbit hole or anti-Semitic rabbit hole or whatever it is that they're into, Instead of planting seeds, you should
not.
Yeah, instead of planting seeds, you should stand your ground and not budge. But also don't get angry and insulting. Yeah, like, if you guys notice, I don't really waft on the type of stuff that I talk about. I may change the rhetoric. I may put it in different ways. I may talk about it in as many different ways in that I can. But what I end up talking about is always the same, right? So, for example, if you're more of a right-leaning person, I usually try to engage in rhetoric that involves like, hey, don't you think that you deserve a voice in your job? Don't you think that you deserve like some type of choice in what you do? Like, even if you're just like a janitor or something like that, don't you think you deserve a choice in what you do, or at least have a say in what happens in your job? Yeah, it sounds like a union would be a good thing to help you get a voice in what you do. Don't you think that if you work so hard and you're, you work full time and things like that, don't you think that like you deserve like the basics like a roof over your head, food, housing, education, and healthcare. I mean, it's your hard-earned tax dollars. It's your hard-earned work. That's your sweat. Don't you think you should get something from it? Don't you think that it would be really nice if you actually owned the fruits of your labor? I mean, don't you think that would be really cool? If you kind of like, if you kind of like owned the means of how you do your work, or dare I say, the means of your own like production. Like, wouldn't that be cool if you had like a piece of the pie? I mean, you work so hard, don't you deserve something? Yeah, I mean, I work hard, and I think that people who work hard should be taken care of. Okay, so yeah, then join with me if you want to make that happen. If you do, then you'll listen, and if you don't, then I don't know what to say, you know? Maybe you don't care. Never argue with a stupid person. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Yeah. You know, if you go around in circles and nobody's getting anywhere, then the best thing you can do is like, hey, look, bro. One day, if you ever want to talk about it, hit me up. That's what I'm saying, like the ultimate nug. You produced, as a janitor, you produce. Shouldn't you get something for that? I mean, I'm just saying, shouldn't you have a more democratic system in your workplace where you get like some type of choice? Sounds like that should be a thing. So I don't, but I don't talk about, you know, it just depends on who is here and who wants to genuinely engage with that, engage with what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's a way I speak to people. Some people are more swayed by a more emotional rhetoric. Some people are more swayed by an economic argument. Whatever it is, you have to speak to people on their level, and if you can, and if they're willing to listen, then you can start changing minds. If they're not, or if they're just a rando on the internet here to troll you, it's not worth it, you know? Nor should I say, like, nor am I advocating for the automatic, like, you know, like, oh yeah, everybody should just like hugs and kisses like white nationalists or white supremacists. No. But those that want to leave should be facilitated to leave that, you know, hateful ideology. This is a decent approach to use with actual working class. Well, yeah, most right-wingers aren't. That's why they act like even mild social democracy communism. They're acting for a class interest. So if you think that, then we should be at strength with the well, the working classes probably outnumbers any block. So we need to make sure that people join hand in hand, and there we can enact change, right? My stepdad has lost cause because they voted liberal in Canada. I'm not sure what that means. I like your optimistic approach, but I think the most important now is to keep the reins of power in the hands of the Trump cultists and QAnons. Well, they lost. They lost the presidency. They lost the Senate. They lost the House. I think. In terms of levers of power, I think. They're gonna be I think they're gonna be hopefully fade out of any type of relevancy, like the QAnoners. We should all have love, peace, unity, and having fun. I wish that was just like an easy Thanos snap and we could just do that. Right? Can you imagine if we just like Thanos snapped and everybody would just be like genuinely empathetic and compassionate and wanting to work together? Just a quick Thanos snap and everybody was just like that. That's why I'm not interested in converting judges. Well, it depends. Like some of them think it's like that cognitive dissonance. It's like, yeah, one day, if I just keep working hard enough, you know, if I just keep working hard enough and keep voting Republican, one day I'll be there. You know, those people. Yeah, keeping calm. That's a tough one. Don't be dismissive. Another tough one. Oh man, dealing with people is really tough. Hey, I'd like to talk to you about how the Earth is flat. Jesus Christ. Pirates get paid more fairly and are more democratic than those places. True. Oh man. Approach conversation with friends and family with empathy rather than ridicule. Yeah, well, that's a tough one. But if it really is a close friend or family, this is key. This is key. Encourage critical thinking. True. The problem is that research tends to consist of watching fringe YouTube videos and following random people on Facebook. True. That's what counts for research nowadays. That's what counts for research nowadays. That's true. Fact-checking is important, but not the right approach. When someone passionately questions are much more effective than assertions. So the Socratic method. Focusing on the tactics and techniques used by people pushing disinformation is a more effective way of addressing these conversations rather than trying to debunk. Think of general queries that encourage people to think what they believe. For instance, some of the beliefs are contradictory. Yeah. So basically, by asking questions and getting people to realize the flaws, you ultimately get people to doubt their own confidence. Yeah, it's like the Socratic method. Like, yeah, isn't it a little weird? Do you really think, like, just like as you just take a step back, like take just for 5 seconds, just be objective for 5 seconds and take a step back and say, wait a minute, does a large conspiracy theory about 5 countries getting together with Antifa, George Soros, whatever the new conspiracy theory is, to overthrow an election, does that sound plausible? Does that sound like something that would happen? I don't know, man. It sounds kind of weird. Like, it doesn't
Sounds pretty far out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. It sounds kind of weird. My dad is a racist, but he was also a union truck driver for decades. Yeah, I have to listen to my dad sometimes. Ooh. Yikes. Well, the only thing I can say to that is, if they don't want to listen, there's nothing you can do. But if they do, then have them come to you. Have them come to you. Say, hey, look, Dad, stepdad, I have problems with the type of rhetoric that you've been using. If you ever want to talk about it and actually deep dive into the actual reality of what, immigration is and, people, and how immigration really works in terms of like economics and jobs and all this other stuff. Hey, if you ever want to have a good faith discussion about that, hit me up and just leave it like that, because there's no point. If he's going to continue on with that rhetoric, there's no point. There's no standards of plausibility that we can agree on. That's why conspiracy theories proliferate. Yeah, exactly. Trump is leaving. Yes, he is. Wait, is that like updated news or what?
Please tell me he's going to start his own country.
Yeah, no, I think he's done. I saw them covering all the moving vans getting all his stuff out. Yeah, so basically yeah, if you have like this again, this is, I think, like, this is more for like people you really know, not for general rhetoric. Oh yeah, friends and relatives. I should have probably read the headline. I probably should have read the headline before going into this. Ask questions, true. Don't immediately expect results, true. I've been at this for what, 5 years? With my parents? Whew. Like, I've been at this for 5 years, with my parents, trying to kind of make them understand the severity, the realities of climate change and how it affects us, here, especially, you know, Florida is like going to be ground zero, specifically South Florida. Oof. And man, has it been hard. But hey, if I did what I did what I had to do, and 5 years, we're starting to get there. Conspiracy theories are mutant mixes of politics, evidence, belief, and emotion. If you can't argue with an emotion, at base, conspiracy theories are about the moral, political meaning they contain, not the facts or evidence. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, because like in order for it to catch, there has to be enough enough a kernel, just enough kernel of truth with that feelies and rhetoric, and then boom, you have a conspiracy theory. So that, yes, that's true. And it's fantastic stories. I mean, fantastical. Like the stuff that's been happening to the election, you know? It's like, yeah, China, Iran, Italy, Venezuela, Cuba, yes, Antifa, and George Soros' business partner, Dominion, and Smartmatic all got together. All of them got together and overturned the election. Like, okay, can step back for a second. Does that sound legit? Like, you know? But it's so hard. It really is so hard not to just like dismiss that outright. But man, patience, folks. Whew. Patience. Those that are willing to listen. You know, like there's a I can't remember his username, but there's like some usually kind of conservative leading type person that hangs out here from time to time, and hey, they want to listen to me talk about how people deserve food, housing, and education and healthcare without, you know, breaking any TOS. That's cool. For instance, 9/11 truth is really about people distrust of a deep state that is undermining democracy. The evidence truthers offer wax and wane like the tides. Yeah. And like the core kernel of truth is like, yeah, of course. You know, like let's look at the type of stuff that they did. They passed like stuff like Patriot Act and things like that. Also, I don't think that there was any type of I don't think there was any type of transparency with what happened. And that kind of fuels deep state conspiracy theories about what happened, you know? Anybody that are
Bailey.
Anybody that thinks this was election fraud is a lost cause to me. I mean, all you can do is say your piece, and if they want to listen, it's on them. You guys don't listen to the opposition. How can you argue against ideas if you don't understand them? Yeah, I hang out in a whole bunch of different spheres as a fly on the wall, as a lurker, and I try to, and believe me, it requires a lot of patience, and it requires yeah, patience, because like sometimes I just see the most ridiculous things and I just want to like be like, okay guys, I can't do this. And you'll see me sometimes. Sometimes I will literally just be like, okay, I can't do this today. Goodbye. You know, it's like, it's hard. It's hard. That's all transparency. Like, just isn't their concern. It's unfounded. They don't want to know the facts. Yeah, and what do you do about that? Really? The entire findings were public? Wow. That's on me then. Fake news, guys. Don't listen to me. The findings of the 9/11 Commission. Oh, okay, I see. So don't listen to me, folks. Don't listen to me. Go look it up. Go find it yourselves. Don't listen to this rando on the internet, okay? You see, that's how bad those conspiracy theories are, that even I thought, well, there wasn't a lot of transparency, but I guess there was. I didn't really pay attention to the 9/11 Commission. It may have also been helpful to learn from the accounts of people who used to believe in QAnon or whatever, but got out of the rabbit hole. They'll have good insight about what was affected to get them to think more critically. True. Yes. Can't really argue against the faithful. You mean like bad faith? Yeah, like trying to argue against bad faith is not productive. Yeah, it just goes to show, like, and I know, believe the official story much more to my friend's dismay. Yeah, it kind of like, you kind of have to really be careful, right? So that one's on me. Just anyone who believes that, just go look it up, guys. Don't listen to this rando on the internet, okay? Cannabis activists in Washington, D.C. are planning to offer a free bag of marijuana to those receiving the vaccine. Joints for Jabs is being arranged to coincide with vaccine clinics expected to open in the nation's capital soon. To encourage people to,
Oh, that'd be perfect.
right? Cool. I'm gonna take the vaccine shot. Joints for Jab. True. This is a great idea. This is now you want to market something? This is amazing. You want to get people to start taking this? Oof. Oof. Oh, is this a new PogChamp for the 24 hours? Yeah, as soon as it's available, I will most likely also be taking the vaccine. I don't have any reasons to not. It's just that in Florida, we've had such a poor job of distribution that we're out and some not available in my areas, or have like already filled up their schedules. So yeah, we didn't really do that one well. I recommend Skeptic's Guide to Universe podcast. They've been covering conspiracy theories, bad science, and such for 15 years, and entertaining too. Nice! Hopefully Walmart will pay for the vaccine shot. I don't know what it'll cost, but I bet it'll be a pretty penny. Yep. Isn't Walmart also engaging in the distribution of this? I think it's like, what, Walmart, CVS, there's like large... So like these large pharmaceutical distributors and pharmacies are going to be handling the vaccine distribution. I know that I've seen lines upon lines at what used to be COVID testing is now like vaccine distribution. And like, if you check that out, like the lines are huge. I saw it over the overpass of the highway. I mean, automotive, so I'm the last guy they tell who. Walmart has a pharmacy, I'm not sure. Yeah, I heard something about that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Interesting. Join for Jam serves as an educational opportunity for those unconvinced of medical value of marijuana, as well as members of the cannabis community who may be skeptical of today's medicine. Yeah, I think that this is great. This is a great idea. I fully support this. I hope people take this opportunity. All right, just if you have the ability to. The vaccine at this time has shown very, very good. Has shown very good results so far. Whew. Yikes! I just got over COVID, so I have a little more time. Ooh. I think this is a great article. I'll post it again in chat. Dope as hope.
Yeah.
Bailey.
He's a sleepy boy today. You sleeping up there, Bailey? Huh?
Bailey's just been chilling with us the entire time.
He heard me call his name. Did you see him look at me?
Yeah, they know
Now
their
he's
name.
stretching. Oh, he'll respond to anything that I say in that tone of voice.
True, Memmius.
I like that. That's a good slogan. I can get behind that.
Walmart is a pharmacy. They also have single clinic. They're testing to see if they can do it nationally. Ah, I see. So yeah, I knew I heard something about Walmart having some play, some kind of role in that. So I think I'm probably gonna have to save this article because it is past 2:30. Oof. Yeah, it is about 2:30 or past 2:30, so I gotta start getting started.
Oh, come on, Carlos.
Start getting started on my day. This article is interesting. Just a TLDR, Biden's economic package seems to be a little bit better than I thought it would be. He's advocating for more stimulus checks, raising minimum wage, things like that. Unemployment insurance extension. So I think that
Hey, if anybody wants to send me money, I'm not gonna say no. Bailey,
Yeah.
don't you walk on my laptop.
Oh, I don't know. Was it Bailey who messed up the camera? Because as soon as you said that, the camera went.
He's a little he's a little shit. What can I say? He's like looks up at the camera like, yeah. Aren't you, Bailey? Don't be pushing stuff off my desk with your butt.
Well, that's
Bit
what cats do. I'm so glad that my cat hasn't decided to just like start using her paw to just yeet stuff off the off tables.
That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend. See you Monday. Take care, folks. Thank you so much for stopping by, Memmius. All right, folks. I think that
Yes.
yes, I think that we're about to call it. I was just looking for somebody to raid. Comrade Bubbles, who is currently playing Undertale. I think that we can continue this chill vibe through the Saturday day, through the Saturday Catterday day, right? And hang out with Comrade Bubbles. They are possibly one of the most, besides Sea Bunny, one of the most wholesome people.
Aside from Bailey.
Aside from Bailey.
Because Bailey is the most wholesome.
Wait, did I do this right? No, underscore bubbles. Oops, sorry guys, hold on. Fake news. 1 second, folks. Folks, there's a lot of great people that stopped by today. So let me just do a couple of quick shout outs. Comrade Bubbles, definitely check them out. We're gonna go ahead and heading out to their channel. Please also check out Sourcing, Bleep Blop Ben, who is a fantastic streamer. They rated us earlier today. Thank you so much, Ben. Hope you had an awesome Saturday. We had, I think, let me see here. I made sure I got all my VIPs in a row. So these are just absolute awesome people. Please go ahead and follow and support them. Let me see here. I'm just making sure I'm going down the list. Oh yes, please, guys, if you guys want to learn about indigenous First Nations people, please go check out Lost 2. They do fantastic work. You'll learn a lot. I promise. You'll learn a lot. So please go check them out. I think I got everybody. Really quick
You
again.
think or because it's kind of important.
I don't know. I think I got everybody. Okay. Just really quickly. Again, guys, you are what makes this channel go. Please, if you enjoy the channel or enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that follow button and head on over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. Jay Chosen, thank you for the follow. Cassidy Reese, thank you for the follow. Mister, thank you. Rip _ the chatbot, thank you. Mechaninthrol, thank you so much for the follow. Chai Bureaucrat with the 5 months tier 1 sub, thank you again.
Yeah, that was huge.
That's
Thank
huge.
You.
Thank you, Memmius. We're at what? 4 months as well. Wow, you guys are just absolutely awesome. Thank you for the follow, Socialist Audiophile, Original Nano Dragon, of course. I said earlier, this is an awesome username. Rhyolithica, thank you. Knots, thank you so much. You guys have been absolutely amazing. This channel doesn't go without you guys. Thank you guys. Please take care. Please stay safe. Take care of each other. We love y'all, and as always,
we'll see ya in the next stream.
See ya. Alright folks, let's head on over to Comrade Bubbles. Please be as warm as possible to them. They are just absolutely wholesome, and they're playing Undertale. I actually, one of my mods made me play Undertale, so I kind of need to play this game again now that I'm watching it. No,
don't act like we raised you in a barn.
Oh, thank you for streaming. No, thank you for hanging out. Alright,
We're
folks.
here for you guys. We couldn't do it without you.
True. Everyone, let's hang out. Let's head out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Warm
Welcome to Comrade Bubbles. Here we go.